Hello and welcome to Business 7. An effective development bank is crucial to the economy of any country. Now, the Development Bank of Namibia this week celebrated its 20th anniversary, and in the program we listened to its new CEO, Dr. John Statler, talking about the importance of the development bank. We also have news on an instant payment system in Namibia, as well as the IMF's latest forecast when it comes to economic growth. Please stay tuned.
Connection. It's in the human touch, the feeling of belonging. It inspires us and empowers us, creates clarity from complexity. It starts new conversations, unlocks the power of advice, and makes an impact on your life. At Alex Forbes, we pioneer insight to provide you with advice that connects your decisions of today to your impact tomorrow.
Let's kick off our program by looking at the business highlights in Africa over the past week. This report by Reuters.
Here's what's been making the business headlines in sub-Saharan Africa this week. Anglo-American rejected rival miner BHP Group's $39 billion takeover bid on Friday, saying it significantly undervalued the London-listed company and its future prospects. The proposed deal would involve Anglo exiting all its platinum and iron ore assets in South Africa, potentially triggering large capital outflows and further denting the country's reputation as a destination for mining investment. On Thursday, South Africa's government said it was scrutinising the proposal, which would see Anglo leaving the country where it was founded over a century ago. Ghana needs $2 billion to fight the spread of swollen shoot disease in the world's second-largest cocoa producer, the head of its regulator COCOBOD said on Monday. Global cocoa prices have nearly tripled in the past 6 months alone, thanks primarily to soaring rates of swollen shoot in Ghana and neighbouring Ivory Coast, who together produce more than 60% of the world's cocoa. Kenya's government has advised lawmakers against banning TikTok, and instead recommended stricter oversight by regulators. A panel in Parliament has been considering a petition from a Kenyan citizen to ban the Chinese-owned platform. The Interior Ministry has said TikTok has been used to spread propaganda, carry out fraud, and distribute sexual content. TikTok did not immediately respond to a request for comment, but has previously defended its record on user privacy. Zimbabwe is arresting black market forex dealers they accuse of distorting exchange rates as the country prepares for a new gold-backed currency to enter circulation next week. The government is keen to establish trust in Zimbabwe gold amid fears that a black market that thrives on charging premiums will weaken the new currency. More than 70 black market traders were reportedly arrested in Harare last week and denied bail. And finally, Democratic Republic of Congo is pushing Apple for more information about its supply chain, amid concerns it may be tainted with conflict minerals sourced from the country, international lawyers said on Thursday. Congo's east has been plagued by conflict since the 1990s, including over the control of the illicit trade in minerals including coltan and tantalum, widely used in cell phones and computers, which are smuggled out through neighbouring Rwanda, Uganda and Burundi. Apple referred requests for comment to its latest conflict minerals report, which said that 100% of identified smelters and refiners in the supply chain for applicable Apple products manufactured in 2023 had participated in an independent third-party conflict minerals audit for 3T minerals, that's tin, tungsten and tantalum, and gold.
Earlier this week, the Development Bank of Namibia held a celebration gala in Windhoek to celebrate 20 years in the country. Let's listen to Dr. John Statler, the CEO of the Development Bank, at the event.
I'm privileged that I'm standing on the shoulders of giants. And I cannot look to the future, David, without acknowledging you. You have been the founding CEO of the DBN. And Martin, he apologized that he couldn't be here. I appreciate the role that Martin and you played. I've put it in my slide that you are the founder. Martin grew, and now I have the challenge to where we say 20 years the DBN is mature. So I have to fill the role of somebody who will mature. Certainly David and Martin, they are big shoes that I have to fill. You created the foundation which our team DBN has been built on. You and the people, the board under you, you envisioned better future for Namibia. You dared to dream big, and you committed to work tirelessly to turn those dreams into reality. Let's give a hand of applause to David and Martin. So I've been at the end, tomorrow is exactly 8 months. So I can say my first 8 months at the DBN was spent with the whole DBN team, creating a roadmap that embodies the values of let's develop. I hope you saw it in the video, let's develop. And I must also applaud Heike and Sarah, they were there when we said, let's co-create a vision. But, I mean, if we just look at Namibia from a socio-economic perspective, we are in a critical socio-economic phase. And this can bring positive change, but it also comes with challenges. I want to focus on the positive. The president, former president, he said, John, you are the eternal optimist. So I want to be the eternal optimist. And I want to say that Namibia is entering a phase of growth. But ED and the economic planners, this growth must be stimulated from the ground. It must be not a top-down growth. It must be a bottom-up growth. It must be a growth that is inclusive. And this is where the President said, no Namibian must be left behind in the pursuit of our economic development. President Keinkop, who sadly passed away, was the biggest champion of this notion that no one should be left out. He passionately believed that it was not the only way to build. He passionately believed it was the only way. It was the only way to build a strong and stable Namibian house that he coined in his maiden State of Nation address, where the notion of the Namibian house in April 2015 was introduced. And it was a house that should have a room for every Namibian. We must continue to implement his vision. But economic development and growth requires proper planning. It's not good, Sarah and team, just to wish for development. My colleagues, my friends and colleagues at the DBN, they gave me a crash course in the bank's overall mandate, the operations, the culture, financial status, including the challenges that the DBN is facing. We cannot and we must not shy away from challenges. But I believe that if we face challenges collectively, that together we can conquer these challenges. One of the first activities that the DBN embarked upon in September last year was the strategic journey, as I said. This was not a task undertaken by few individuals. It was a collective effort of the entire DBN team. As CEO, I can only affect change if every colleague believes in the direction that we have mapped out. We are pulling together and we have crafted a 5-year strategy, emphasizing that each employee's input, each employee's wisdom, and its employees' insights are success essential ingredients for creating and implementing a successful and sustainable strategy and a business plan. I believe this is the foundation upon which we will, as the DBN, build a high-performing, Sarah, a high-performing and agile organization.
We return to Dr. John Statler, the CEO of the Development Bank of Namibia, at the bank's celebration of its 20th anniversary earlier this week, and here Dr. Statler talks about the strategic plan of the bank.
I would like to give you a few highlights in our strategic plan for the next 5 years. So, our purpose going forward as the DBN is to drive Namibia's sustainable economic development. That's our purpose. We used to call it a mission, but we say we are here for a purpose. Our purpose is to drive Namibia's sustainable economic development. I want to give an example here. When I consulted the High Commission of Malaysia, I said, okay, DBN, what are you doing? I said, and there was like a thinking that the DBN is the Bank of Namibia. And I paused a moment, and then Ambassador was very kind to me and said, oh, you are developing Namibia. So DBN, we have to develop Namibia. So our purpose is to drive Namibia's sustainable economic development. Coupled with that, our vision is to be the partner of choice for Namibia's innovative development solutions. We have to embrace innovation, harnessing the power of digital technology. We have to leverage digital platforms, data analytics, and emerging technologies to enhance efficiency and to reach more entrepreneurs and create new opportunities for growth. We have also looked at our values. We have restated them, we tweaked one, but our values remain to be accountable, to have integrity, to have service excellence, and to being transformative. Because we are going into an era where we have to play a role in the economy, where we have to become catalytic and transform the Namibian economy in so many ways. So we will continue to be guided by these values. These are the values that will steer us in the right direction, especially in challenging times and uncertainty. We have developed 4 strategic pillars. I will just mention them. One is sustainable growth and impact, where we have financial sustainability. Unfortunately, we have very high NPLs. We are working on it. I believe that in the next few shareholders here, maybe give us a bit more time, Titus, but we'll bring it into the where it should be. But we are working on it. We have not plans, we are actually doing things on it. Our second pillar is people and culture. And then the third one is market position. But I want to focus on our 4th pillar, which is developmental effectiveness. And developmental effectiveness means really, how do we impact on the lives of ordinary Namibians? Do we create jobs? Do we uplift their lives? And so that one is very, very crucial for us. I'm pleased that as John and Helen presented today, over a period of 20 years, DBN has created directly and indirectly or sustained about 115,000 jobs. And DBN has allocated about credit of $18 billion over that period of time. This is the equivalent of about 1 billion euros for our colleagues from Europe. But you can see DBN can account and has made an impact. So investing in our people, nurturing a culture of excellence and inclusivity, and fostering continuous learning and development opportunities for the DBN.
Every day, you make choices that make you legendary. Journey together with us on the path to securing your legacy as a member of the League of Legends. With the Select Platinum Bundle Fee Premium Bank offering, you will access tools that will enable you to thrive. If you earn 850,000 Namibian dollars per annum or more, you can apply for this offering today via bankvinted.com.na for only 447 Namibian dollars per month. Bank Vinted, a member of Capricorn Group.
The Bank of Namibia's strategic plan allows for the establishment of an instant payment project in the country. This is supposed to go live in 2025. Let's take a look at what the project entails.
In Namibia, the spirit of resilience and community thrives, but many of our citizens in rural and informal sectors and areas face significant barriers to financial services, relying heavily on cash with limited access to banking. Every transaction means hours of travel when you live in remote areas.
Without easy access to the bank, every day I'm taking risk to keep cash in my pocket.
We've heard you. The Instant Payment Project is our commitment to turning these challenges into opportunities.
While Namibia has done well with broad financial inclusion at 78%, people in rural and informal Namibia are still struggling to access basic, affordable, and essential financial services. This means that our informal actors, taxi drivers, community sellers, petrol attendants, farm workers, and other small and medium-sized businesses must go to great lengths, travel long distances, incur high transport costs, and pay more to access financial services. This demoralizes these groups from interacting with the formal financial system and ultimately hampers economic growth. The Bank of Namibia is therefore stepping up with a new plan to introduce an instant payment solution to be specifically designed to address these challenges and more.
As a project team on the ground, we are excited to be co-creating the instant payment solution together with industry.
This new system will allow instant transactions across all of Namibia, affordable, fast and secure, reducing the need for travel and high fees. Imagine buying supplies or receiving payments on your phone, withdrawing cash from any ATM, anytime without the wait.
An instant payment system like this is a game changer.
With the launch of the instant payment solution, we lay the foundation for a more inclusive economy. The solution will also empower fintechs, startups, and innovators to reimagine possibilities within our market and our financial system.
As an industry representative, we heed the call of the Bank of Namibia to ensure that the Instant Payment Project is successful.
Together we are launching a new way of payment, serving every Namibian using any mobile phone, whether offline or online, and whether you are in a city or in rural Namibia. It is money everywhere, anywhere, every day, and anytime.
The instant payment solution is a beacon of financial empowerment, bridging the divide of those in rural areas and the informal economy, ushering in a transformative era of inclusive prosperity through affordable and sustainable digital payments.
Imagine a Namibia where the heartbeat of progress is in the palm of your hand. The Instant Payment Project is the future we are building. Together we are weaving a fabric of financial inclusivity that covers every corner of our nation. It's a revolution, a revolutionary way in how we transact, connect, and thrive.
The International Monetary Fund says this year could mark the turning point for sub-Saharan Africa after 4 years of challenging shocks. Let's take a look at the IMF summary of growth forecast for the region.
After 4 turbulent years, sub-Saharan Africa's economy looks to be at a turning point. We expect economic growth in the region to rise to 3.8% in 2024 from 3.4% last year. Inflation has declined markedly and the region's debt level has broadly stabilized. With global financing conditions easing, countries are returning to international capital markets after a 2-year hiatus. These are encouraging signs, but important challenges remain. Many governments still face a funding squeeze, high borrowing costs, and looming debt repayments. And this is taking a bite out of revenues and therefore diverting much needed funds from development spending to interest payments. This in turn is jeopardizing the region's growth potential. In a year heavy with elections, sustaining reforms will be important to ensure that macroeconomic conditions continue to improve. In all, an encouraging picture with economic conditions broadly improving. It will, however, be important to sustain this momentum, notably by addressing 3 interlinked challenges. Continuing to improve public finances with an emphasis on revenue mobilization, sustaining the focus on reducing inflation wherever it remains well above the target range, and reforms to diversify financing sources and growth opportunities. Read more in our latest regional economic outlook to find out which policies will sustain the recovery and help build the African century.
Let me show you something.
Don't worry. Next time, I check nice.
Thanks, but it's okay. FNB Insurance checks nicer.
At FNB Insurance, we provide cover for all your valuables. From your phone, to your laptop, to your car. FNB Insurance. You value it, we cover it. T's and C's apply.
That's it for Business 7 for this week. Thank you for joining us. I hope to see you in the studio again next Wednesday. We're playing out with a beautiful message of the CEO of the Development Bank of Namibia, Dr. John Statler, which he delivered earlier this week at the 20th celebration of the anniversary of the bank. Until next week, goodbye.
I want to go to the penultimate paragraph where President Geingob says, we must pull together in the same direction. We are all sons and daughters of the soil. DBN, we are all sons and daughters of DBN. The land and the precious blood shed for it is what makes us Namibian. Not, and this is very important, not the color of our skin or the languages that we speak. When born in Namibia, you are Namibian. When born in Namibia, you are Namibian. If one of your parents is Namibian, you are Namibian. This is your birthright that nobody can take away from you. And he went a step ahead, and he's so brilliant. He said, we must stop trying to make people feel guilty for things that are not in their control. No one should be made to feel guilty for inadequate because he or she is white or black or old or young, from a minority group or majority group or living with a disability. That is the dream President Geingob had of an inclusive nation where nobody should feel left out. And then he had a special thing that I saw, it's still with us, and he picked up on it. And he said, let us respect our women and children. Women are the bearers of life. They are an integral component of humanity and its future. And to violate the rights of women is to violate this whole nation's conscience. We all came into being through a woman, so let us collectively our collective Namibian voice say no to gender-based violence. I'm saying this because I've just heard over the past weekend, there were 4 cases of gender-based violence, but it was not even noticed, of girls that died. And I think that's not good enough.